In the summer of 2026, director Kane Parsons transformed the internet's most enduring creepypasta into a feature-length horror film that stands as both a love letter to liminal space dread and a meticulously crafted puzzle box. The Backrooms, produced under the A24 banner, follows failed architect and discount furniture store owner Clark Chiwetel Ejiofor as he stumbles upon a null zone portal in the basement of his pirate-themed emporium, Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire. What begins as quiet obsession spirals into cosmic terror when Clark drags his young employees Kat and Bobby
All right, you filming? Yeah. Follow my lead.
into the endless yellow monotony, only for his therapist, Dr. Mary Klein, Renata Rainsvey. Wow, these names are really hard to pronounce. To pursue him in a desperate rescue attempt. Parsons, who first gained fame with his viral YouTube found footage series, deliberately designed the movie to reward multiple viewings.
A very kind of hard sci-fi route with it, where what if this MRI Research Institute accidentally got access to this thing and they can't that's it, that's the only supernatural variable. It's like this place exists, they don't know anything about it, they know zero, and okay, go. What's gonna happen next? What are the ramifications of this logistically and economically? I very cautiously sort of developed this project over a number of years until we have now this more human-first sort of character-driven, intimate version of that world.
Subtle visual cues, anachronistic dates, corporate name drops, and warped memory echoes layer the film with deeper lore, connecting it to the original 4chan creepypasta, Async's shadowy experiments, and even Parsons' parallel project, The Oldest View. These are not throwaway Easter eggs. They function as narrative scaffolding, revealing the Backrooms as a dimension that doesn't merely trap bodies, but distorts and replicates human memory itself. The entities, known in fan circles as still life or echoes, manifest as imperfect copies of people, objects, and places pulled from the subconscious of those who enter. The film's 110-minute runtime is dense with these clues, many of which flash by in a single frame or half-second of shaky camcorder footage. What follows is a deep dive into the 9 most crucial small details Parsons hid in plain sight, drawn directly from the movie's visual language and expanded through thematic analysis. Each Easter egg illuminates the film's central horror. The Backrooms is not an empty void, but a living archive of human regret, ambition, and trauma, endlessly recycling and mutating it. Spoilers ahead. This breakdown assumes familiarity with the film's plot, including the devastating finale involving Pirate Clark.
Bumps for the scallywags' quarters! We've got it all!
The movie opens on grainy found footage recorded on June 19, 1990, a date that immediately situates the story within the early Async timeline established in Parsons' YouTube canon. Viewers of the web series will recognize June 1990 as the period immediately following the infamous Peter Tench incident, when Async's early experiments with magnetic field manipulation first tore open stable null zones. The footage itself, shot by an unnamed researcher, captures the same sterile yellow monotony that Clark later explores, complete with buzzing fluorescent lights and distant, unplaceable footsteps. This timestamp does more than nod to the source material. It retroactively positions Clark's discovery as part of a larger, decade-spanning incursion. Later in the film, Async security footage shows Clark himself inside the complex on June 29, 1990, just 10 days after the opening tape. The 10-day gap is deliberate. It suggests the Backrooms operates on a non-linear temporality, where entry points can spit explorers into slightly different echo timelines. One chilling detail missed by many first-time viewers is the newspaper visible in a background commercial Clark films for his store. The date reads 1997, hinting that the dimension can pull memories or media from multiple decades simultaneously. The date Easter egg reframes the entire narrative. Clark isn't merely a modern explorer stumbling into horror. He is the latest unwitting participant in Async's ongoing, decades-old breach of reality itself. Parsons uses this temporal slippage to underscore the psychological horror. Once inside, time, memory, and identity become fluid, unreliable currencies. Early in the film, a late-night television commercial advertises Dr. Mary Klein's self-help book, The Window Within. The title and tagline, "Break through the pain, see the world waiting on the other side," play as innocuous background noise while Clark fidgets in his therapist's waiting room. On rewatch, the commercial becomes prophetic. The window Mary urges readers to open is literalized when she steps through the null zone portal in search of Clark. One particularly haunting shot shows Mary pressed against an invisible barrier, watching a distorted creature on the other side that can see her, but remains separated by what looks like one-way glass. The book's failure to become a bestseller, Mary remains a struggling therapist rather than a household name, mirrors the film's theme of thwarted ambition. Clark, once an aspiring architect, now sells ottomans in a failing pirate-themed store. Mary's therapeutic philosophy, which promises emotional freedom through radical self-examination, is ironically weaponized by the Backrooms. The dimension forces inhabitants to confront not only their pain, but warped, monstrous versions of it. The Easter egg deepens when we learn Mary's childhood home is being demolished by the very company that will later appear in the Backrooms signage. The Window Within is therefore both character backstory and thematic blueprint. The Backrooms is the ultimate window that shatters the self rather than healing it. When Mary's childhood home is shown in flashback, a demolition sign for Reverchon Ventures is briefly visible. The name is no random corporate placeholder. In Parsons' broader cinematic universe, Reverchon Ventures is tied to the oldest view, where a papier-mâché puppet of French botanist Julien Reverchon serves as a surreal mascot. The company's appearance here creates a subtle connective tissue between projects without forcing a crossover. More importantly, it hints at the scale of corporate and governmental interest in liminal spaces. Async may be the primary player in the 1990 footage, but Reverchon Ventures suggests a web of private entities exploiting null zones for profit, perhaps resource extraction, real estate speculation in infinite space, or worse. The Easter egg rewards fans who followed Parsons' ARG elements and YouTube lore. It also reinforces the film's critique of late capitalist exploitation. Even the infinite horror dimension has been commodified by faceless corporations. The choice of a botanist's name for a demolition firm adds a layer of ironic detachment. Reverchon studied plant life. Reverchon Ventures clears land for unknown, possibly sinister purposes. One of the film's most elegant pieces of foreshadowing occurs when Clark explores a seemingly random room containing a lopsided throne and a stuffed toy parrot peeking from a bag. The parrot is the exact mascot from Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire commercials, the same costume Clark wears in the cringeworthy TV spots that play throughout the movie. Moments after spotting the toy, Clark hears the first approaching footsteps of the creature that will become Pirate Clark. The toy parrot is not mere set dressing. It signals that the Backrooms has already begun replicating Clark's identity using the most vivid, publicly available version of him, the over-the-top pirate persona from his failed advertising campaign. By the climax, this echo has fully manifested as a monstrous, distorted Captain Clark, wearing the pirate hat and eye patch, now twisted into something predatory. The Easter egg transforms a silly commercial mascot into a harbinger of identity theft on a cosmic scale. Parsons uses it to illustrate how the dimension doesn't simply copy people, it amplifies and weaponizes the most performative, inauthentic versions of ourselves. Clark's wardrobe choice during his first major exploration, a faded t-shirt from the Modernist Design Forum 1970, is easy to overlook amid the yellow walls. Yet it is loaded with significance. Clark's backstory as a failed architect is central to his obsession with the Backrooms. He sees the infinite procedurally generated rooms as the ultimate architectural canvas. The 1970 date places the shirt in the golden age of brutalist and modernist design, precisely the aesthetic the Backrooms mimics with its monotonous, oppressive geometry. On a deeper level, the shirt represents Clark's arrested development. He clings to a 1970s ideal of architectural purity while running a tacky pirate store in the 1990s. The Backrooms, in turn, replicates his memories imperfectly. Rooms filled with mid-century furniture, warped blueprints, and half-remembered floor plans. The t-shirt Easter egg ties Clark's personal failure directly to the Dimension's mimicry engine. Even his clothing becomes raw material for the still-life entities. In one of the film's most quietly disturbing sequences, Explorers stumble upon a laundry room piled high with discarded clothing, shirts, pants, and shoes, seemingly grown into the carpet itself. Among the pile is a vintage end-apartheid t-shirt, an anachronistic detail that places the memory somewhere in Clark's or another explorer's past. The clothes are not random. They are imperfect replicas of garments worn by previous victims or by Clark himself in different echo timelines. This Easter egg reveals the Backroom's core mechanic. It harvests personal memories and manifests them as physical objects, often fused grotesquely with the environment. Shoes embedded in carpet, shirts with sleeves that end in fleshy tendrils. These are early warnings that the dimension is building a distorted archive of human identity. The laundry room becomes a metaphor for repressed trauma, buried, tangled, and slowly rotting under fluorescent light. For fans of the original creepypasta, it echoes the no-clip concept, falling through reality, only to find yourself surrounded by the discarded fragments of other lives. During the frantic third-act chase, background signage on the walls appears mirrored or rendered with subtly incorrect typography. Letters flipped, fonts slightly off, words that almost but don't quite spell English. These imperfections are deliberate. The Backrooms does not copy reality perfectly. It approximates it through the imperfect lens of human memory and subconscious association. The signage Easter egg underscores the film's liminal horror. Everything feels familiar yet wrong, like a dream that logic cannot quite parse. In a storage room packed with cardboard cutouts of historical figures and generic everyman models, the film reveals Async's early attempts at contact. The cutouts, some dating back to the 1989 to 1990 experiments, are propped up like targets or communication devices. One cutout even resembles a younger version of Phil, Mark Duplass, the Async operative who interrogates Mary at the end. This room literalizes the idea that the Backrooms responds to human attempts at mapping or communicating with it by generating its own distorted replies. What Async doesn't want us to see. The final major Easter egg appears in a redacted still from the 1990 CCTV footage, a humanoid shape blurred beyond recognition. Fan theories suggest this is an early still-life entity, or even a glimpse of the Pirate Clark precursor. The redaction implies government-level censorship. Async knows more than it admits and is actively hiding the true nature of the life forms. Conclusion. Collectively, these 9 Easter eggs transform the Backrooms from a simple monster movie into a meditation on memory, identity, and the horror of infinite recursion. Parsons doesn't just adapt the creepypasta, he weaponizes its liminal unease by making every yellow wall, every buzzing light, and every misplaced object a potential clue. The Backrooms is not empty. It is crowded with echoes of us. Clark's descent is our own, the desire to escape failure, only to find our worst selves waiting in the maze. On rewatch, the film reveals itself as a masterpiece of subtle world-building. The date anchors it in Async's timeline. Mary's book foreshadows psychological rupture. Reverchon Ventures expands the universe. The toy parrot, the t-shirt, the laundry clothes, the mirrored signs, the cutouts, and the redacted image all serve as pieces of a larger puzzle whose solution is both terrifying and strangely beautiful. We are the Backrooms, and the Backrooms is us, endlessly copying, distorting, and replaying our lives until nothing original remains. In an era of loud blockbusters, the Backrooms proves that the most effective horror often hides in the smallest details. Watch it once for the scares. Watch it 9 more times for the truth lurking behind the yellow wallpaper. The maze is waiting, and it already knows your name.